all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. How is everybody? Everybody doing all right? Hopefully everybody's doing okay. You know, I'm not going to talk about this because this is not the subject of the show, and I'm not going to spend any undue time on it. But I just want to say condolences to the family of Sandra. Was that Sonia Massey? I keep wanting to call that lady Sandra. I keep wanting to call her Sandra. I guess because of Sandra Bland. But I want to say condolences to that woman's family. Get closer to the mic. Condolences to that woman's family. I watched the video. I watched the body cam footage from start to finish. Well, from start to shooting. I didn't watch the efforts to, the paramedics and things of that nature. And that lady didn't deserve that. That lady did not deserve that. She just did. That lady wasn't doing nothing to get that. That lady wasn't doing nothing to get that. You know how usually it's where she was loud or she was belligerent or that lady wasn't doing none of that. I don't know who that lady was in her everyday life. But in those moments that was caught on that videotape, she wasn't arguing. She wasn't clowning. She wasn't emotional. She wasn't crying. She wasn't in nobody's face. She wasn't raising her voice. She wasn't making any threatening moves. She literally was not doing nothing to them to warrant the aggression and then her murder. I watched that video. That lady wasn't doing nothing. That lady wasn't doing nothing. She wasn't doing nothing. That lady didn't do nothing to get that. I don't know nobody who could watch that video and was like, "Yep, see what she was doing right there? See, that's why they did that." See, they told her to go over there to the water that she had boiling. She wasn't over there. She wasn't thinking about that. She probably had forgot about it. They told her to go take it off the stove. And when she did, when she went over there, again, just condolences to that woman's family. Nobody deserved that. Nobody deserves that. Nobody deserves that. She didn't deserve it. Philando Castile didn't deserve it. You know what I'm saying? And the list goes on and on and on of who don't deserve that kind of stuff. Anyway, That's the part. She called them because she thought that there was a prowler. Once they told her outside of her home that they didn't see anything and that there wasn't anything going on, they should have bid her adieu, a good night. Okay, ma'am, we didn't find anything. Oh, y'all didn't find anything? No, we did not see anyone. If anything happens, please don't hesitate to call 911 and we will come right back. But we didn't see anyone now, okay? Are you all right? Yeah, I'm okay. All right, well, good night. Go inside. You know what I'm saying? Be careful. If anything happens, call 911 again and we'll come back to help. All right, good night. That should have been the end of the. Why would you want to come in that woman's house? They asked to come in that woman's house. I'm not even going to do it. And they likely are. That don't make it right, because the treatment that Black men have been getting, particularly by police officers and the justice system, has not been right. I see where you're going with that. And I've stated something close to that as well, that the system is starting to target Black women in the same way that they target Black men. And so now Black women are not getting that leeway for being women. They're being targeted all the same, no matter what. Even still, even though there may be an angle for that, that don't make what they did right. It's not right. Because what they do to Black men is also not right. So anyway, I want to talk about women being invisible and the fact that winter is here. There are, and I've said this thing before as well. It's not just the thoughts and stuff like that that are becoming invisible to men. There is in a way, the lioness is also going to suffer here with winter is here. The single lioness, the single young lioness is also going to be invisible, but she's invisible for a different reason. You understand what I mean? She's invisible for a different set of reasons than the hyena is invisible. All right. So let's first talk about the hyena's invisibility. There are several layers of her invisibility. One of the first layers, and one of the layers that it starts with, is in fact the woman that you would not think is invisible to men. She's the woman that men actually want. The thought, the Instagram thought, the chick that puts herself out there, the chick that's outside in the street having her fun. You understand what I'm saying? She's dating around. That woman. And it would appear as if this woman is getting all of the attention, and she is. She's getting the sexual fantasy attention of the men, particularly the young men. She's the girl that's everywhere. Everybody like her. Everybody want a piece of her. Everybody want to have sex with her, or they want to be like her. If they're women, they want to be like her. If they're men, they want to have sex with her. And they want to be seen with her because she's a baddie and things of that nature. Okay. Let me know if we following along. I'm talking about the lady, the woman who you would think is getting all the attention from men. Because when we say invisible, we usually think this is the woman that men don't want. That's what we think about. When we say the woman is invisible to men, we usually think about the types of women that men just completely overlook. One or two men might pay her some attention. Other than that, men don't really step to her. Men don't really try to talk to her. Men don't really try to get to know her. But I'm coming at it from a different perspective. The thought is also, she's seemingly not in that category. She appears to not be in this category. She appears to be one of the only women that is seen by men, especially in today's society. This is a society that celebrates whoredom on both sides. This society has celebrated too long the whoredom of both the women and the men. Celebrate it. We're gonna talk about it today. We're not gonna talk about the society as we think it should have been. We're gonna talk about it the way it is. Because the hyenas, the thots, and all that kind of stuff, they be getting married too. It's a bunch of married hyenas. It's a bunch of married hyenas. It's a bunch of married hyenas. It's a bunch of them. Where do you think that 70% of the divorce rates are initiated by women? And that's not to say that none of the divorces, that the men don't have nothing to do with it. They're completely innocent angels and the women are demons. That's not even what I'm talking about. Right? But that's a very, very high rate of the divorces to be initiated by one side. That's a very interesting statistic. Because we're not just saying divorces are initiated at a 70% clip and it's kind of even or whatever. We're saying that the women are in the vast majority of the ones who are going to initiate the divorce regardless of the reasons. Now that right there tell you that there is more hyenas getting married than anybody want to talk about. It's more hyenas getting married than anybody wants to say. See, everybody want to just say only the lionesses is actually getting married. That is not true. That is not true. Maybe once upon a time, men didn't marry the hoes and all that kind of stuff. Maybe once upon a time, it was frowned upon to marry a hoe. But in today's society, hoes is getting married left and right. Hoes get married left and right. They all over Instagram. They all over social media, all over Twitter. They everywhere. So we're not gonna play like only the lionesses is able to get a marriage. No, we may be one of the only ones that can maintain it, but we are not. And hoes be keeping marriages for like 10 years sometimes or more. Huh. This is why a lot of hyenas be coming out and like, nah, y'all lionesses can't flex about marriage because that don't really mean nothing. See, they try to say it like it don't mean nothing because the men are no good. No. You have to understand everything a hyena say is a deflection and a projection. You have to understand that. So when she say, oh, you can't flex about marriage because that doesn't guarantee anything, she talking about her. The hyena is talking about her. What she's saying is the sanctity of marriage and men talking about they only give marriage to certain kinds of women. What they saying is that's cap because we be getting married. We have no intention of being these women. We have no intention of being lionesses. We are not lionesses, right? We're not going to be catering to you. We're not going to be supporting you. We're not going to be helping you. We're not going to be really standing beside you and really trying to build nothing with you. Like, no. So that's why they're saying, that's why they be saying marriage is not much of anything. Marriage is not anything for a woman to brag about, things of that nature. That's because they're trying to tell the world marriage has lost its value if you're gonna marry us. The hyenas are telling the world, I need y'all to listen to me clearly. Hyenas are telling the world that marriage does not have as much value as everybody's trying to say it is because you'll marry women like us. Women like us get married to somebody. And if we can convince somebody to walk down an aisle with us, then lionesses, I'm gonna need you to pipe down because they marrying you, but they marrying us too. And we know that they get married because they have managed to make marriage put a bad name on the marriage. They the ones put the bad name on there. They the ones put the bad name on there. They the ones making the transactions. They're the ones trying to take men for if they man got money, because this is not every man not getting taken for no money because most people are average earners. So when we talk about alimony and just taking a man for half his stuff, those are not average earning people. Average earners, we don't really have, those of us who earn averagely, we don't really have assets and things of that to split in any case. But what the average man will have to worry about is things like child support and things of that nature. So he may not need to deal with the alimony because you only deal with that, you know what I'm saying, when there's assets and, you know what I'm saying, a certain amount of money is being earned. However, the average working man can always get hit with the child support stick. He can always get hit with the child support stick. You see what I'm saying? So that he will have to think about, right? And I see that some people in my chat are naming famous 304s that have either been married or are currently married. Kim Kardashian kept getting married. Kim Kardashian kept on getting married. She hit the scene with a sex tape from Ray J. I'm not gonna forget that. I'm not gonna forget that. Kim Kardashian hit the scene. First, she was just Paris Hilton's little friend. That, you see what I'm saying? She was just Paris Hilton's little friend. And then once that what didn't take off, her being Paris Hilton's little friend, then she hit you with the sex tape with her and Ray J. That was back before the BBLs. That was back before all of the different cosmetic work. She was just an Armenian chick that was rich because her daddy was rich. Anytime you hit the scene gagging on an eggplant, and that's how we know you, and then three different men came along, men who in anybody's estimation would be high value men, right? Came along to wife that woman. Was marrying her quick too. A public hoe. So hoes get rings. Hoes get rings. We're not gonna say that they don't. Retention is a problem. See, they married here's the difference. And I'm gonna get into what I'm really talking about because I'm kind of spinning off a little bit. But here's the difference. A hyena marriage and a lioness marriage do not go the same. It don't go the same way. Hyena marriages and lioness marriages do not go the same way. I'm gonna tell you another thing. Hyena divorces and lioness divorces don't go the same way either. Even if we have to get divorced, that don't even go down the same way. Because a lioness is going to try to make her marriage work the best way that she know how. That's what she's gonna try to do. If a marriage break down with a lioness, it is really irretrievably broken. It is broken. For real. Like, it's for real broke. Ain't no getting it back. It ain't no coming back to it. Ain't no coming back to it. And she's not going to. The difference is that if you have to divorce a lioness has to get divorced. She's not going to try to run a man through no ringers. She's not trying to hang around just to make his life as miserable as possible. She's not going to try to dangle kids, any other thing that maybe a hyena would gladly dangle over somebody's head. A lioness is not doing this. A lioness is not doing this. Because first of all, it takes too much energy. It takes way too much energy. All that negativity, it takes way too much energy. Way too much energy to try to ruin him, basically. That's too much energy. And a lioness trying to do that. Lionesses go quietly. If we have to go, we go quietly. You know, we're going to do what need to be done in order to make sure that everything is cut, no lingering, you know what I'm saying? No coming back to, no, we're not coming back to it. We're not doing none of that. It's done. It's done for real. So we're going to make sure that everything is done as fairly as possible, as fairly as it could possibly be. And we done with it. And we're going to talk about this too, Ray, because the lioness is also invisible. Lionesses are invisible. Lionesses are invisible. Oh, lioness is big time invisible. But we're going to get into that later. Right? Exactly. Right? Because good women across the whole entire world, no such thing. Good women, lionesses are invisible. They're invisible. They're invisible. All these little demon women running around here. Not a good one in the lot. You see what I'm saying? This actually proves my point. This actually proves the point that I'm going to make. Right? The hyena is invisible because I started off talking about the thought. She gets the most sexual attention. We talk about thoughts every day. We talk about thoughts all the time. Every time we talk about women, we talk about them. The fact that this exists means we don't even talk about the lionesses. We don't even talk about them. So the thought is getting celebrated, whether she's being criticized or upheld, she's being talked about. Right? We gonna talk about the hyena no matter what, because the squeaky wheel get the oil. Nobody pay attention to the quiet wheel, the quiet wheel doing what they supposed to do. The quiet wheel being a wheel. So who cares about the wheel that's actually doing what the wheel's supposed to do? We only care about the wheel that's falling off. We only care about the wheel that it can't get right. You see? I'm just saying. But the thought gets into invisible trouble. She starts out very visible. She starts out very desirable. Even if we just talking about sex and she starts out very desirable. Men always want her. They want to be around her. They want her to be with them and things of that nature. Right? See, and y'all getting ahead of me, right? Because y'all know where I'm going. Right? Mr. Valentine know where I'm going. Y'all know where I'm going with this. Right? She's getting the most attention usually for her looks and for her sexually charged antics. She's doing anything for clout. She's doing anything for attention. She's doing anything to say, look at me. She's loud. Most of the time she's uncouth. She's not wife material and she don't want to be. This is particularly when she is young. She's not wife material, and she doesn't want to be. She laughs at the concept of even being a wife because in her mind, she's dating around and she's experiencing her sexual freedoms with little restriction. With little restriction. However, from this, she gets into the invisible realm by certain things that she do. That thotism brings her many times to single motherhood. The thotism brings her many times the disinterest in and the inability to maintain healthy relationships with men. The thoughting and the thotism brings her jadedness and dating trauma, you know what I'm saying, things of that nature. So through her thoughting, her quote unquote whole phase and all this other kind of crap, she's gaining all of this different baggage. See, the baggage is not always children. The baggage is not always her looks went down, things of that nature. Her baggage, the most damaging baggage, is usually the mindset that she's carrying. That's the most dangerous baggage that she got. Because if women have a good mindset, her having kids don't necessarily have to be this devastating thing or whatever, but it be the mindset that give rise to all of the different foolishness that now comes into play. See, it's layers of foolishness. It's layers of foolishness. It's not one kind of foolishness. It's a bunch of them. Okay? I want everybody to understand it is a bunch of different kinds of foolishness that comes to or comes through that I'm just going to be sexual and I'm going to get all the attention and I'm going to be outside and all of that. So her mental baggage, her spiritual baggage, her lack of spirituality, her emotional immaturities, coupled with her quote unquote bad experiences and things of that nature, all coalesce into one big red flag that no man should deal with. How do she get men to deal with her? How does she get men to? How does a woman like this, with all of these red flags, how does a woman like this get a man to even halfway take her seriously? How? What is she doing? What's she doing? It's her sex appeal. See, sex appeal is usually going to be a man, the collective of men's Achilles heel. That's just the Achilles heel. That's just men's Achilles heel. It just is. A woman's sexual energy, especially coupled with she appealing to you, and let's not act like all the older chicks are ugly, because they don't be. So now she come with bedroom experience. Now she come with that. You tap that, you gonna be mad because you're gonna be like, okay, I don't like her, but I gotta go back over there because why she do me like that? Like, why she do that? Do you see that little move she did? Why she do that? See, no, why she do that? And the hyenas know that. Hyenas know that. Hoes know that. Hoes know that they sexuality is a man's Achilles heel. That's why, that's what she learned from being a hoe. That's what hoes do. That's her job. That's her job. She an expert. She's an expert with that. However, she puts herself in life situations, and through that whoredom that she has developed, she places herself in a box that she cannot escape. She places herself in a box that she cannot escape. She can never escape the whore box. She can't. She's spent too long building the whore box around her. So now that's all, because that's the only skill she ever honed. She did not develop any other skill or any other aspect of her femininity. She only developed the sexual aspect of her femininity. That's the only thing she did. She ignored the spiritual aspect of her femininity and the other intangible aspects of it. So because she ignored the rest of her spirit, the rest of her femininity, now she don't have nothing but the tools that she made. Unfortunately, 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 this turns bad for her very quickly, because the only men who really gonna spend a lot of time with hoes, whether he paying for them or whether he could just get them off the strength of him, is a young man. Young men love whores. Young men love whores. Young men like whores because whores are fun. Whores do not require commitments, where many young men do not have the capacity for commitment at that time in their life, and they don't want it. So we talking about men in their early to mid 20s, things of that nature. These are not men that are necessarily looking for marriage and things of that nature. They're not looking for that. So they're looking for hoes, because whores are fun. Whores are fun. Whores don't require anything but sex and a good time. You're going to spend some money on it, but hey, it is what it is. Young men love whores. Conversely, young men do not like lionesses. They do not like them because they do not see them. Young men do not see lionesses because lionesses are not outside. They're not in the same places that the whores are in. So he doesn't see her. She's boring. Lioness is too boring. So he's just trying to have fun. And lionesses want commitments and things of that nature. He's not trying to do that. Young men do not see lionesses. She's invisible. She's invisible to him. Young lionesses are invisible to young men. Old whores are invisible to young men also. Because see, the hoe he want got to be young and with it. You know, she got to be able to run the street and all that kind of stuff with him. So it's not a flex to have this old hoe with you. That's not no flex. How's that a flex? No. she gets into a conundrum because when a man becomes older, he doesn't like whores. He doesn't want them. The whores now become more invisible to him because he's matured. He done had the time with them. He done had time with the hoes. He done had his time with the hoes. He done slutted himself out. Okay, so he done with the hoes. They done took him through a bunch of crap. You know what I'm saying? All that kind of stuff. He tired of how they act. He tired of how they be behaving and this, that, and the third because they not really women for real. So, you know what I'm saying? They immature. They sexually immature. They do it, but mentally, spiritually not. You know what I'm saying? As he gets older, if he come into his own as a man, now he don't want the hoe. He don't want the mentality that come with the hoe. He don't want her. Now he want a woman that's sexual and turn him on, but he don't want the whore's mentality. He don't want that because it's crazy. She's crazy. So he don't want her. She crazy because then now that he's gets into a point in time in his life where he's doing the building phase of his life and not just the fun phase. We trying to do the building phase. You can't build with no hoe. Yeah, Can't do that. So only when he's like in his 30s and stuff like that, now he can see a lioness. He can start to see her because she's different than the whore. So he'll start to see a lioness. I'm going to do a quick commercial break. And then we're going to talk about the invisibility of the lioness and why she's invisible. She's invisible for different reasons. But after these messages, we'll be right back because I need everybody to go to ashkicking.com to get some of the best body care, body butter, deodorant, moisturizer, face moisturizers, and all of these different things that are on the market. It's a wonderful product, very, very high quality. I would recommend it to anyone, and I'm recommending it to all of you. So if you want to keep your skin looking and feeling its best in the middle of the summer, go to ashkicking.com. The link is at the top of the chat. Please take advantage of the 10% discount using a promo code Crimson if this is going to be your first order. And I know I owe you guys a bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button. Bam, bam. You got to go ahead and hit the like button. Let me get to the super chat. Thank you so much. Hey, Frederick says salute to everyone. Salute. Thank you, Prada, for your contribution. I appreciate you, sweetheart. Thank you, Steve, for your contribution. I appreciate you. Thank you. Chris says, hot girl summer that caused COVID. My uncle Desmond. Not hot girl summer caused COVID. Hey, Nerdine says, seen the queens are clanging again. How you doing? Hey, Bernard, the prodigal son analogy. Thank you so much. Thank you, Juan, for your super sticker. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Nuruddin, for your contribution. And thank you, Frederick, for becoming a member. I appreciate you.
But now you have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees.
Now, the lioness invisibility. Lioness invisibility. She's invisible for a different reason. The lioness is invisible for a different reason. Usually, a young lioness is not typically seen or recognized as such by young men. And this isn't to say that the men do her dirty. They just don't see her. They don't really pursue her. They don't really see it. They don't see it. And it's not because they're ugly. It's not because the women are not attractive. It's just because the behavior is different. The behavior is a bit different. And when the behavior is different, when you're a young lioness and you don't act like the rest of the girls, you have a tendency to either be invisible or you stand out, but not in a good way, necessarily. Most lionesses can attest to, when they're young, hearing, I don't want to deal with you because you a wife, right? And it's not necessarily said like a bad thing. It's just like, well, it's no fun. Because if I get with you, then I got to kind of do something different with you. You'll be good in about 10 years when I come back. You see what I'm saying? Like, when I'm ready to do that with a woman. I'm not ready to do that with no woman at this point. It's rare, the young lion that's ready for that. Like, he kind of got to be, I've noticed the late 20s, they kind of, a young lion try to get there. And of course, this is not everybody. This is not every case. It's just my personal observations. A lot of my lionesses can attest that they've probably been told more than once that the reason that, you know what I'm saying, they don't get into a relationship with a particular guy isn't because the guy doesn't like them. It's not because he doesn't find her attractive or anything like that. It's just that she calls for something different than he's ready to do, or may even be not capable of doing at that time with a woman, with any woman. So he'll bypass her. I can't deal with you. Not right now. I can't deal with you. I maybe can deal with you later, but I can't deal with you now. Now, the young lioness still gonna get picked off, though, because the older lion, a little bit older, he see her. He definitely see her. He definitely see her. So she's invisible usually to her age group when she's young. To the older men, though, the guy that's like 30, 31, something like that, a good maybe 10 years older than her, he see her. He'll see her. He see her. He see her. He sees her. And he's going to try to deal with her and build with her because she is valuable to him. But aside from that, there is another aspect of a lioness's invisibility. In a society of whoredom, in a society of thoughts, good women, you would think that they would stand out, but actually the opposite is kind of true. I'm going to tell you how that happens. Lioness is almost by her very nature is not overly attention seeking. She's not everywhere screaming, hey, look at me, look at me. She not. We don't like that. We don't like that undue attention because what are we really going to do with that? Example. When all the thoughts got on the internet to pop they coochie and pop they booties and be overly sexual and be a thought for everybody to see and chase clout and have a chasing attention from every man, everybody, likes, hearts, want somebody to be in their DMs. See, when Lionesses saw that, they was like, oh, we're not gonna do that. That must be thought behavior. And if the thoughts have all crowded up to do that, then I'm definitely not doing it. Definitely not. I'm certainly not going to be posting online. Not that kind of content I won't be. You're not going to see no lionesses with no bunch of booty pictures and she twerk. It's thought behavior. You're doing it for clout. You're doing it for attention. You're doing it for a bunch of men to ogle you and to, you know what I'm saying, be trying to get with you and be trying to have a whole bunch of sex with you. It's not appealing to the lioness. It's not appealing. We have more of a tendency to fall back more than come forward, especially if the forward you're expected to be a thought when you do come forward, and nobody got time for that. So if thoughting is the order of the day, she's gonna fall back. That leads to the invisibility. She's gonna be invisible because she's not gonna be the places where the other women are at. She's not going to constantly be all online, constantly at the club, constantly, you know what I'm saying, like constantly at these places where promiscuity is pushed, where hookup culture is pushed, and putting herself in positions where this is expected of her. Like this is the expected behavior. It doesn't make sense for a lioness to go certain places and do certain things because not even going to participate. It's that non-attention seeking part that really it's a double edge for us, because on the one hand, it helps us keep our peace. We be minding our business. But also on the other hand, it leaves room for there not to be any representation of a lioness really nowhere. Because it's like, you know what? I need to just fall back. I need to just be on my own program, go get a husband, do my thing with my husband. I don't need to be over here. I don't need it. We're not even doing that. I'm just going to put my head down and be over here and be a wife to my husband. That's what I'm going to do. I'm be a mother to my children, you know what I'm saying, and things of that nature. I don't have time. You know what I'm saying? I got my circle of friends or whomever, you know, people that I hang with, family, what have you, know, whatever my social life looks like. And, you know, that's going to be it. That's it, you know, because once you stray too far, it's too many hyenas, get into too much trouble. So we're not going to do that. And so by virtue of that, just that trait has led a lot of lionesses to just keep too low of a profile, so low in fact that there's really not a whole lot of representation of who we are, especially alongside a hyena, because we would have to attention seek like they do in order to be seen. But if we do what they do to be seen, we're not lionesses. We just become them. right? Nobody wants an Instagram history of our work day. Lioness's work days is work. And they boring. Our idea of fun is actually a little bit different. Boring to other people. Don't nobody want to see. You know what I'm saying? Nobody gonna check for that. Nobody's checking for looking at that. The other thing, not only is this a society of whoredom, it is one where, because the whoredom is so rife, because it is so rampant, because it is so flooded in everything, the value of marriage is down. The value of marriage is down. Nope. Very few people have any value for the idea of marriage. So if marriage itself is not in demand, then by virtue, the lioness is not quite in demand. Not quite. And I'll tell you this, lionesses struggle. We kind of struggle a little bit when we are not taken as wives. We run into a lot of struggling. Actually, here's the thing. He said, being quiet and drawing that line in the sand from the lioness and hoes standing too close. We actually don't stand close to them. That's why they got the mic. Because we actually not over there with them. We not over there with them. Not over there with them. It's actually working against us. The fact that we don't want to spend our time, because when you think about in this climate, what a lioness would actually have to do to not so much compete with the hyena, but like rival her for, I guess, the notoriety or the visibility of hyenas. Like, what would we have to do that? Like, what would we have to be? What would we have to do collectively, publicly, to rival the attention? Because we actually don't seek it. We don't seek it. We don't seek it. Like, in order to play in the boneyard, you gotta be part of the boneyard. You gotta play boneyard politics with them. And to do what I'm doing, everybody can't do this. Everybody don't even have the fortitude to do this. It's a unique situation for black lionesses, for black American lionesses. Because I'll tell you this, we're the only group of women whose femininity actually works against us. It works against us. See, and here's what I mean. Let me explain that. Other groups of women get the latitude to just be. White women don't have to denounce the activity of the hyenas among them. They don't have to do that. They do not have to publicly denounce any hyena activity among their group. They do not. They have the luxury of just being lionesses if that's what they're going to be. Because no matter how much bad publicity white women get or what they do, because I have seen some real crazy videos of white women. However, their image value, and this is why I talk about black women's appearance value being so critical, because a white woman's overall appearance value is still pretty good. It's still pretty good. So even if you have the women who are making a public spectacle of themselves and it's below par behavior for a woman, she doesn't represent nobody. No one assumes that she represents all of white womanhood. Nobody assumes that. But for black women, it is not the same. Lionesses do not have the luxury of just being a lioness in her life. Don't have to prove nothing to nobody except the people around her who she is and her value. Problem is, just like the appearance value of black men is y'all is one big Negro, no matter how individual y'all are, no matter if this guy don't, you know what I'm saying, he don't engage in certain activity and this black guy engage in certain activity and all of that type of stuff, y'all still one big Negro from the outside looking in. Y'all know better than that. Y'all know better than that. But the perception is that black men are dangerous or they're criminals or, you know what I'm saying, there's something going on with him or, you know what I'm saying, he got some type of problem or he, you know what I'm saying, it's something negative. The same is true with us on the other end of that stick. It's assumed that all the bad behavior that black women publicly engage in is representative of all black women. Now, here's the difference. Here's the difference, in my opinion, between black men's appearance value and black women's appearance value, because I actually think black men's appearance value overall is better than black women's appearance value. And the reason for that is that the men who are not a part of whatever negative outlook will say that. Right now, it's not every dude on every microphone somewhere hollering, I'm not like the Pookies in the right. They're not, right? But enough will say. And then the way men move in the world, the way men move in the world is different from the way women move in the world. Men are the creators of cultures. Women are only the passers of cultures. And I'm going to explain why that's an important thing. Because men in their nature they are able to oppose their own environment to make change. The way men move through the world is different from the way women move through the world. So it is not seen as a negative when men are super vocal and super in your face and super like, no, it's really like this. And if it's not like that, we're going to force it to be the way that it needs to be so we can thrive. That's the way men move through the world. Women do not move through the world like that, particularly feminine women. We don't do that. What I'm doing right now to show up every day and vehemently oppose a narrative, a mindset, a thought. And I'm outnumbered. I am outnumbered. Okay? My voice is not nearly as loud as the cacophony of hyenas that band together to say foolishness. But I digress. Going back to my point of why I believe Black men's collective appearance value is actually better than Black women's appearance value is because Black men do not celebrate all of the foolishness that other Black men get into. You have some that be like, no, it's all right. Da, da, da. And then you do have a vocal group of Black men that say, no, all that glamorizing foolishness, no. And that's not even what real manhood is. Like, men will come up and say what manhood is supposed to be and things of that nature. Too many hyenas group up. And on our best day, lionesses are outnumbered. On our best day, lionesses are outnumbered. And so because so many Black women will celebrate the foolishness, celebrate the sexy red, celebrate the twerking, celebrate walking naked through the turkey leg hut, celebrate all, you know what I'm saying, twerking all on the car as you're driving, celebrate all that foolishness. They celebrate all that feminism and I don't need no man and strong and independent and fighting against your nature. They celebrate that. And so therefore, Black women's appearance value is much worse than Black men. So by virtue of that, lionesses really don't have the luxury of just being feminine women in their life. It's seen as not good enough. It's not good enough for the collective for a feminine Black woman to just be feminine in her life. So we really don't have the luxury of doing what other women do. Nobody's going to paint the broad brush for any other group. But Black people are going to get that broad brush. Black men get their broad brush another way, and Black women get their broad brush of being hoes and promiscuous and thoughts and all that kind of stuff. Which is the reason why I speak up, because I recognize the need for some lioness somewhere to say something. And it's not like I'm the first lioness to ever speak up. My predecessors, but she was outnumbered. As powerful as she was and is, Auntie Shahrazad Ali, she was so powerful, outnumbered. She ain't wavered off her square not one time for the last 35 years or more. And then people, want to know, well, why did she fade from the spotlight at one point? Because she had to stop and live the life of a lioness. You can't just talk like you're doing a lioness. You got to stop and live your life like a lioness. She stopped and had her kids and raised her family and her kids. We can't move like men do. Sister Shahrazad could move like a man. She a woman. She a lioness. She had to stop. Because she married. Her first obligation is not to us, it's to her husband. And if he said, you got to sit down, because we got a family to raise. I know you're doing good work, and I'm not saying you're not doing good work, beloved. But we got a family to raise. She had to stop. One lioness. She had them shook. One lioness. Imagine if it had been 10 of them in her time and just as vocal as she was. Imagine that. Imagine 15 public lionesses pushing back at that time. We probably wouldn't have got here. But she was being overwhelmed by the foolishness then. And it hadn't even got as bad as it is now. And that wave was too big. So this winter being here, it's not going to be cute. This is going to be very ugly. And not just on the relationship front, because let me tell you, let me bring something home to everybody. It's going to be ugly because let's not act like we're not related familially to hyenas. Okay? This is not just about who men will date and who they won't date and who they will marry and who they won't. Both lions and lionesses. You realize these hyenas are our family members, right? These are not all strange women we don't know. Some hyenas is our daughters. Some of them are our mothers. Some of them are our sisters. Some of them are people that we are not able to simply just cut off and not have no contact with. So this is not all about just the men or the women that we won't date or who's dating who, but we're related to them. I make the separation of values between lions, lionesses, and hyenas, male and female, but we are related to them by blood, and that is not always easily so severed. So let's not act like this is all we talk so much about the dating pool, and then we forget that we're related to them. So if your daughter is a hyena, how 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 quick are you to let winter come for her? Hmm? How how ready are you to let her completely fall on her face? Hyena or not? How ready? See, when I'm talking about the values of us as a community, I'm not always talking about the men need to go get women they don't want. No, 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 no. Sometimes the woman grew up in your house. Huh? Ladies, sometimes you raised the male hyena. You raised him. Hmm? Let's not act like we're not related. Let's not act like the romantic relationships are the only form of relationships we have. Right? And you have to find your way, right? Because everybody can't just cut everybody off complete. But we have to do what the old folks used to call treat you with a long handled spoon. You understand? I can't be real close like that. Because our values are different. So that alone is going to cause a separation. Just the difference in values is going to cause a rift of some sort. And now you got to figure out how you're going to navigate that. Right? The separation be there. And everybody got to find their way to navigate that. Sometimes you can cut people off clean. I don't deal with you. Sometimes the relationship is so egregious that there's no way that we're going to be even able to truly communicate because you too far in the boneyard. And I can't do, I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing it. And then there are times when that's okay. There are also times when that's preferred. Right? Oh, don't get it twisted. I've cut off many. My cutoff game cold. But I'm not just speaking for me. Some people family dynamics is not so clean cut. So I just wanted to bring that home a little bit. It's not just the dating and who you slept with, and some of these people we can't sleep with them because they family, but that's what I'm saying. The worlds do collide. We cannot act like we don't never encounter the foolishness on a personal level. You just, all I'm saying is you got to know how to navigate all of that and keep your sanity and keep your values intact at the same time. Thank you, Miss Mia. Said thank you for your time. No, thank you for yours. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate you. Thank you. The real book said Ambassador CC, a 5 to 7 lion pride scare the F out of a hyena. Mostly. But you know, I'm gonna tell you, hyenas will try a lioness in ways they won't try a lion. I have seen that. Hyenas will try lionesses. They will try them. They will. Lionesses have to come all the way up out their bag. All the way up out their bag to get with them hyenas before that lion get there. Them lions show up, one lion, one. They will not try him like that. They be getting on up out of there. Like, oh, here come the big guy. Hey, man, we ain't mean no harm, man. Hey, we were just playing. You know, they get the cop and please when the lions show up. You know, it be 2-3 lionesses. They feel like they can jump up. You better. Because if she's younger or whatever, she might not be married. Lionesses move real silent. We do. And we don't be trying to hide. We just be minding our business. I don't know. We just be in our own little lioness world. We just be in our own little lioness world. That's all. We don't even mean no harm. We just we just be in our little world. But I'm done. Anyway. Oh, thank you, Pop Smokes. And my mother's about to be 70, and all along she's still vomiting the hyena rhetoric and complains her kids don't call anymore. We got the same problem. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like, I don't know what you want me to do. Do not know what you want me to do with that information. They be complain. Hey, you old now. You listen. You about to check on up out of here soon. And if you couldn't be helped in 7 decades of living, I don't know what you want me to do. Anyway, one more thing. My apologies. My apologies, y'all. I got one more thing. So please, one of my mods, do me a real quick favor and post the link to the Light and Insight event, please. Please, please, please. Go ahead and post the link to the Light and Insight event. Tickets are on sale. Thank you so much, Nicole. Tickets are on sale now. The event is to be held Sunday, September the 1st. Okay. And so if you hurry up and get your tickets now, you can reserve your spot. Light and Insight. This is really going to be a good takeaway. We're going to have like a workshop and things of that nature so that once you leave this event, it's not just going to be somewhere fun where we can all just see each other and meet each other, have some good food, you know, a book signing as well. So everybody who has a book, bring your book. If I have never signed it, I will sign it there as well. But I really want a takeaway though. I really want to talk about why we think the way that we do and how to get out of a lot of different ways. So a lot of different mindsets, not ways. So there'll be like a workshop and all of those sorts of things that we can do, something fun, not too involved, you know. I'm not trying to take your life away. It's just one day worth of chilling and connecting with lions and lionesses and really getting down to the root of some of the things that we face. All right. So don't forget the Light and Insight event. You can click the link in the chat. You can scan the QR code that's on the screen right now. Both things will take you to Eventbrite, where you can purchase the tickets and reserve your spot. Okay. All right. That's pretty much it. Jump down in the comment section. Let me, know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.